In this video we demonstrate a typical deployment and configuration of the Calamu virtual appliance. The Calamu virtual appliance is installed as a self-contained Kubernetes cluster, and here we will deploy a 3-node Calamu cluster on a Proxmox virtual environment containing 3 Proxmox servers, PM1, PM2, and PM3. The Calamu virtual appliance can also be deployed on VMware, AWS, or other virtual environments. We start by connecting via SSH to each of the Proxmox servers and uploading the Calamu appliance image to the standard Proxmox VM repository folder. After deploying and configuring the appliance images and connecting them to one another, as we will show, using the Calamu solution is done via one interface regardless of how many nodes were deployed. Now that the images are uploaded, we proceed and access our Proxmox management console. We start by deploying the Calamu appliance into PM1. We choose the image, give it a new VM ID, select flash storage, give a name to the VM, and restore the new VM. When the restore process completes, we configure the VM which is not running yet. For networking, we choose the right bridge for your Proxmox environment and erase the MAC address to enable auto MAC assignment. We choose 9000 MTU, or jumbo frames, which provide performance advantages for the Calamu appliance type of activity. Now we resize the disk to 500 GB, and we are done. In the VM console we choose the VM and start it. When the VM is started, the Calamu appliance setup wizard will appear. To configure the appliance, we start with editing the network settings. We choose MTU 9000 and then choose Manual for IPv4 configuration. We enter the IP address we want to assign to the appliance on PM1, then enter the network gateway and DNS addresses. Pressing OK and then Quit completes the definition of this profile for the appliance connectivity. To activate this profile we click on Network Connections and then we activate the created connection. We now install and configure the operating system and the Calamu software. We click Install Calamu, and for the first node installation, we choose to create a new cluster. The installations on the other 2 nodes will join this cluster. Then we select a hostname for the appliance, enter the appliance IP address as the address that other nodes will use to join the cluster later on, and select the cluster join token that will be used by the other nodes. For this demo we selected Calamu, but for production deployments a true random token should be used. We confirm our selections and select Install. The installation process will start and will take a few minutes. At this time, NixOS will be rebuilt and installed. Once the installation is complete, the setup wizard will display again and the appliance will be connected to the network and accessible. We connect to the appliance as root via SSH and establish the root password. To verify the first node installation we use kubectl to list the nodes, and we see we have one master node listed. We now repeat the same process for deploying an appliance on the Proxmox servers PM2 and PM3. The deployment process is identical, only that in the Calamu Setup Wizard, in the Calamu installation step, we choose to join an existing cluster and enter the Kubernetes token we defined in the first node. After deploying to PM2, we can check again and see that now we have 2 nodes in our cluster. Now we continue with PM3. And after deploying to PM3, we have 3 nodes in the cluster. We have completed the first 2 steps, deploying the appliance to Proxmox and installing NixOS and Calamu. The last step is to configure and deploy the Calamu application itself. This is done by editing a TOML file. The file contains various parameters for the deployment, such as the username and password that will be used as the first user on the system, an SMTP server configuration that is used to invite users and send notifications, and more. For specific deployments, some variations may be required, and the Calamu support team is more than happy to assist. We now run the Calamu deployment script, which takes us to the Kubernetes cluster monitoring screen. It might take a few minutes for all the cluster components to initialize and connect. This time is shortened in this video, but once it is all completed and running, we can access the application and log in. In the next videos we will continue from this point and show how to use the system to create secure, scalable, and flexible storage for your applications.